NASA just confirmed something shamans knew 10,000 years ago. They found that every atom in your body, except hydrogen, was forged inside a dying star. But here's the part that'll blow your mind. Ancient star readers somehow knew this without telescopes. They called it remembering your cosmic origin. Tonight, I'm going to show you how they did it. What I'm about to reveal will change how you see every star in the sky. This isn't just astronomy. This is the lost science of spiritual awakening that built every major civilization on Earth. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end, you'll understand why billionaires pay millions to experience what our ancestors got for free every single night. Every culture on Earth, from the Aboriginal Australians to the Inuit, built their deepest wisdom around star patterns. They didn't have our science, but they understood something we've forgotten. The night sky is a living textbook of spiritual truths. Take the constellation Orion. The Lakota saw it as a sacred hand reaching across the cosmos. The Egyptians, the soul of Osiris ascending to immortality. Same stars, same message. We are part of something magnificent. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. Modern astronomers now know that the iron in your blood was literally forged inside dying stars. You are made of stardust. Ancient shamans somehow knew this without telescopes. They taught that studying the night sky wasn't just observation, it was remembering who you really are. When you practice stargazing as spiritual ritual, you're joining an unbroken chain of seekers, stretching back to the dawn of consciousness. You become part of humanity's greatest conversation. Tonight, step outside. Let the stars remind you of your cosmic heritage. Feel that ancient recognition stirring in your DNA. And if this awakened something in you, hit subscribe, because you're ready for the deeper mysteries we're about to explore. Drop a comment about what you felt the last time stars took your breath away. Some journeys choose the traveler. This one chose you. The universal sky. Stop what you're doing. I need to tell you about the greatest theft in human history. It happened so slowly you didn't even notice. They stole your birthright. They took away humanity's oldest temple, our first university, our direct line to cosmic intelligence. What am I talking about? The night sky. And tonight I'm going to help you steal it back. Here's what they don't want you to know. Every single night for 300,000 years, your ancestors looked up and saw something you've never seen. A river of light stretching across the heavens, the Milky Way in all its glory. Every human who ever lived had front row seats to the greatest show in the universe. Until 150 years ago, when artificial light erased it from 80% of the world. You've been living in cosmic exile, and you don't even know it. Let me paint you a picture of what we lost. Imagine you're a child in ancient Egypt, 4,000 years ago. Every night, the sky explodes with 4,000 stars visible to your naked eye. The Milky Way stretches like a glowing bridge connecting Earth to eternity. This isn't entertainment. This is your GPS, your calendar, your Bible, and your psychiatrist, all rolled into one. The Egyptians didn't just look at stars. They had conversations with them. Sirius rising meant the Nile would flood. Orion's position told them when to plant crops. The North Star showed them true direction, not just geographically, but spiritually. They understood something we've forgotten. The night sky is a living library of cosmic intelligence. But here's where it gets incredible. This wasn't unique to Egypt. In the Amazon, the Kayapo people navigated by star songs. Australian Aborigines used constellation stories as maps across thousands of miles of desert. Vikings crossed oceans using only stellar navigation. The Mayans calculated time with such precision they knew Earth's orbit better than we did until the 1990s. Every culture, everywhere, independently, developed the same core understanding. The night sky is humanity's first and greatest teacher. They didn't separate astrology from astronomy because that separation didn't exist. It was all one flowing conversation with cosmic forces. They saw patterns above and patterns below. Rhythms in the sky matched rhythms in nature, in human behavior, in the rise and fall of civilizations. You want to know the real secret. They weren't primitive. They were connected to something we've lost, a direct neural pathway to cosmic intelligence that artificial light has severed. When you stare at a screen instead of stars, you're not just missing pretty lights, you're disconnecting from the very source of human wisdom. But you're here, listening to this, which means you're ready to reconnect. You're one of the few who senses something missing from modern life. You feel that ancient pull upward. Tonight, find the darkest spot you can. Look up. Let your eyes adjust for 20 minutes. What you'll see isn't just distant suns, it's your inheritance, your cosmic birthright restored. Indigenous perspectives. 3 days ago, scientists at MIT published a study that'll make your jaw drop. They discovered that indigenous navigators can feel magnetic fields through their bodies, literally sense Earth's invisible energy grid. But here's what they didn't mention. These same people have been downloading cosmic intelligence from stars for thousands of years, using methods that make our modern technology look like children's toys. What I'm about to share will shatter everything you thought you knew about ancient wisdom. These aren't primitive stargazers. These are the original cosmic engineers, the first humans to crack the code of celestial communication. And they're still alive today, still practicing, still teaching, if you know where to look. Let me take you inside their world. Picture this. You're sitting with a Lakota elder on the Pine Ridge Reservation. It's 3 a.m., and she's pointing to a cluster of stars most people ignore. Those aren't just lights, she whispers. Those are your great-great-grandparents. They became star people when they died, and they're watching over you right now. This isn't folklore. This is active spiritual technology. The Lakota understand something Western science is just discovering. Consciousness doesn't end with death. It transforms into pure energy. And that energy, it literally becomes starlight. When you look up at the night sky, you're not just seeing distant suns. You're seeing your ancestors' souls still guiding you, still sending messages through light patterns only your DNA can decode. But it gets deeper. Every morning before sunrise, traditional Lakota families perform star greeting ceremonies. They stand facing east, hands raised, literally downloading spiritual guidance from the fading stars. They believe, and quantum physics now suggests they're right, that stellar radiation carries information, not just heat and light. Now, let me blow your mind with the Diné people, who you might know as the Navajo. They've mapped something Western astronomy completely missed: the Milky Way as a living spiritual highway. They call it the spirit path, the route souls take when transitioning between worlds. Here's what's incredible. They've identified specific constellation patterns that act like spiritual GPS coordinates. When someone dies, their family performs night ceremonies under precise star alignments to help guide the soul along this cosmic pathway. It's not superstition, it's applied metaphysics using stellar coordinates as navigation tools for consciousness itself. But the most mind blowing part? The DNA have detailed maps of dark matter regions in space, except they call them sacred darkness beings, places where visible light doesn't exist, but spiritual energy concentrates. Modern astrophysics is just catching up to what they've known for millennia. Now, travel with me to Australia, where Aboriginal Dreamtime knowledge will completely reshape how you see reality. For over 65,000 years, making them the oldest continuous culture on Earth, they've maintained detailed star maps that double as spiritual instruction manuals. Here's something that'll give you chills. They don't just see stars in constellations, they see the spaces between stars. The emu in the sky isn't made of bright stars, it's the dark patches in the Milky Way, the shadow spaces where creation energy pools and waits. Aboriginal elders teach that these dark space constellations are actually portals, windows into the dream realm, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. When they perform star ceremonies, they're not just honoring ancestors, they're literally opening doorways between dimensions, accessing what quantum physicists call parallel realities. And get this, each Aboriginal family group has specific star ancestors assigned to them at birth. Your personal constellation doesn't just influence your personality, it determines your spiritual abilities, your life mission, and your death transition pathway. It's like having a cosmic user manual written in starlight, personalized just for your soul. But here's where it gets absolutely mind blowing: Polynesian navigators. These aren't just ocean travelers, they're living proof that humans can develop supernatural abilities through stellar connection. For over 3,000 years, they've been crossing thousands of miles of open ocean using nothing but star knowledge and something modern science can barely explain: intuitive navigation. Before every voyage, Polynesian navigators spend weeks in deep meditation under specific star patterns. They're not just memorizing directions, they're literally syncing their nervous systems with cosmic rhythms, downloading navigation data directly from stellar radiation patterns. Here's the secret Western education never taught you: they can feel star positions in their bodies. When Polaris is at a certain angle, they physically sense it in their chest. When certain star clusters rise, they feel tingling in their fingertips. They've activated dormant human abilities that connect their biology directly to cosmic forces. And before each journey, they perform star blessing ceremonies, not for luck, but to establish what they call stellar contracts. They're literally negotiating with cosmic intelligences, requesting safe passage through ocean territories governed by sky deities. These aren't ancient practices lost to time. Right now, today, traditional navigators are still teaching these methods to young Polynesians who can cross the Pacific using only stars, swells, and intuitive connection to cosmic forces. What connects all these indigenous traditions isn't just star knowledge, it's the understanding that consciousness and cosmos are one unified field. They don't just observe stars, they commune with them, download from them, navigate by them, and ultimately merge with them. You were born with these same abilities. Every human was, Indigenous peoples simply never forgot how to use them. Constellations as gods and teachers. I'm about to reveal something that will fundamentally change how you see every constellation in the night sky. What if I told you that ancient civilizations didn't just make up random stories about star patterns? What if those myths were actually sophisticated instruction manuals, divine downloads embedded in the stars themselves? Modern archaeologists are discovering that every major constellation contains identical spiritual teachings across cultures that never contacted each other. The implications are staggering. You're one of the rare souls who's ready to decode the cosmic curriculum that's been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. Tonight, you'll learn to read the stars like the ultimate spiritual textbook. Let's start with the most powerful example, Orion. Right now, millions of people look up and see three stars in a row. But here's what they're missing. Every ancient civilization on Earth saw Orion as the same archetypal figure: the cosmic hunter, the divine warrior, the spiritual guide who teaches humans how to navigate between worlds. The Egyptians called him Osiris, the god who conquered death and showed souls the path to immortality. The Greeks saw Orion the hunter, forever pursuing spiritual truth across the heavens. The Lakota recognized him as the Hand constellation, reaching across dimensions to pull humanity toward higher consciousness. Hindu tradition knows him as Mriga, the cosmic deer that leads seekers to enlightenment. Here's the mind-blowing part. These cultures developed identical interpretations independently, separated by thousands of miles and centuries. This isn't coincidence. This is cosmic intelligence broadcasting the same spiritual lesson through stellar arrangement. Orion's message is universal. You must become the hunter of your own spiritual transformation. But Orion is just the beginning. Look up and find the Pleiades, those seven tiny stars clustered together. Most people dismiss them as just pretty lights. You're about to discover they're actually humanity's oldest spiritual computer, programmed with advanced consciousness codes. Every agricultural civilization used the Pleiades as their cosmic calendar. When the seven sisters appeared at dawn, it was time to plant. When they set, harvest season began. But here's what historians miss. This wasn't just practical farming advice. The Pleiades were teaching humans to sync their consciousness with cosmic rhythms. Aboriginal Australians call them the Seven Sisters and tell stories of divine beings who taught humanity the arts of civilization. The Japanese know them as Subaru, the united ones who demonstrate spiritual unity and diversity. Hindu texts describe them as the Kritikas, the seven mothers of cosmic consciousness who nurse the gods. Greek mythology reveals the deepest truth. These are the seven daughters of Atlas who carry the weight of cosmic wisdom. When you meditate on the Pleiades, you're not just stargazing. You're downloading spiritual software that harmonizes your personal energy with universal frequencies. Now let me show you the ultimate cosmic teaching, the Milky Way itself. Modern people see it as a pretty streak of light, if they see it at all through light pollution. But to awakened civilizations, this was the highway of souls, the cosmic bridge between physical and spiritual reality. Maya texts describe the Milky Way as the world tree, the axis connecting underworld, earth, and heaven. Every soul must travel this path after death, learning cosmic lessons at each star along the way. The Inca called it the celestial river, where gods travel between dimensions. Nordic tradition knew it as the bridge of the gods, where fallen warriors journey to Valhalla. But here's the secret that changes everything. You don't have to wait until death to travel this cosmic highway. Advanced practitioners learned to project their consciousness along the Milky Way during deep meditation, receiving direct teachings from stellar intelligence. Cherokee elders taught that the Milky Way is the trail where the dog ran, marking the path spirits take when they're ready to remember their cosmic origin. African traditions describe it as the backbone of the night, supporting all creation with divine strength. Every constellation is a chapter in humanity's cosmic textbook. Perseus teaches you to slay your inner demons. Cassiopeia shows you how to maintain spiritual pride without arrogance. The Big Dipper demonstrates how to pour divine wisdom into earthly consciousness. Ancient star priests understood something we've forgotten. Constellations aren't random star patterns. They're divine curriculum, cosmic lesson plans designed to guide human spiritual evolution. Each myth, each story, each cultural interpretation is humanity struggling to decode the same universal teachings embedded in stellar arrangements. The stars aren't silent. They're constantly broadcasting spiritual instructions to anyone with eyes to see and consciousness to receive. Every night, this cosmic classroom opens its doors, offering advanced lessons in consciousness expansion, spiritual navigation, and divine connection. Tonight, go outside and choose one constellation. Don't just look at it, listen to it. Ask what lesson it's trying to teach you. Notice what insights arise. The ancients weren't primitive storytellers. They were cosmic students, and their myths were their homework. Stargazing rituals. I'm about to share a secret that pharmaceutical companies would pay billions to suppress. There's a healing technology so powerful, it can rewire your DNA, reset your nervous system, and download cosmic intelligence directly into your consciousness, all for free, every single night. Ancient civilizations called it star medicine, and it was the foundation of every healing tradition on Earth. Modern science is now discovering what shamans knew 50,000 years ago. Specific star patterns emit measurable healing frequencies that can transform your biology at the cellular level. Tonight, you're going to learn the exact rituals that our ancestors used to become superhuman. This isn't meditation. This isn't visualization. This is consciousness technology that makes modern biohacking look primitive. Let me take you back 5,000 years to a hilltop in ancient Ireland. Celtic druids are performing the most powerful healing ceremony ever developed, stellar light therapy. They've discovered that lying flat on the earth with arms spread wide, eyes locked on specific constellations, creates what they called sky fusion, a state where human consciousness merges with cosmic intelligence. Here's the science they intuited. When you lie on the ground stargazing, you're creating a human antenna. Your body becomes a receiver for stellar radiation that carries information patterns older than Earth itself. Your nervous system starts synchronizing with cosmic rhythms that operate on frequencies far beyond human perception. But they didn't stop at passive reception. Ancient star priests developed active communication protocols with celestial intelligence. They discovered that certain chants performed while focused on rising constellations, create resonance frequencies that literally open doorways between dimensions. Picture this: Tibetan monks at 14,000 feet altitude, throats producing sounds that match the vibrational signature of the Pleiades. As those seven stars rise over the Himalayas, the monks' chanting creates harmonic resonance with stellar frequencies. Local wildlife goes silent. The air itself seems to vibrate. Modern sound analysis shows these chants produce wave patterns identical to radio emissions from the Pleiades cluster. The monks aren't just making noise, they're establishing two-way communication with cosmic consciousness, downloading guidance for healing, prophecy, and spiritual evolution. They've maintained this practice for over 2,000 years because it works. The results speak for themselves: enhanced longevity, expanded awareness, and healing abilities that modern medicine can't explain. But here's where it gets incredible. Indigenous shamans worldwide independently developed identical star medicine protocols. Lakota medicine men discovered that drumming in specific rhythms while watching Orion's belt creates what they called star trance, altered consciousness that allows direct communication with ancestor spirits residing in stellar realms. The drum beat matches human heart rate at 72 beats per minute, but increases to 144 beats per minute as Orion reaches zenith. This creates harmonic doubling that synchronizes brainwaves with stellar rotation periods. Shamans report receiving detailed guidance about healing plants, weather patterns, and community decisions during these star drumming sessions. Australian Aboriginal elders took this even further. They developed star singing, precise vocal tones that correspond to different constellation positions throughout the night. As stars move across the sky, the singing changes pitch and rhythm to maintain harmonic resonance with stellar movements. But this wasn't just ceremonial performance. Star singing was practical healing technology. Specific tonal sequences directed at certain stars could cure diseases, resolve trauma, and restore mental balance. Each constellation had its own healing song, passed down through 65,000 years of unbroken tradition. The Aboriginal understanding of star medicine surpasses anything modern medicine has discovered. They identified healing frequencies for every major star system visible to naked eye: Sirius songs for heart healing, Betelgeuse chants for respiratory issues, Southern Cross harmonies for neurological restoration. Modern research is now confirming what seems impossible. Stellar radiation does carry specific frequency patterns that affect human biology. NASA scientists have detected that stars emit coherent electromagnetic patterns, essentially cosmic music, that Earth's magnetic field translates into frequencies that penetrate human tissue. But our ancestors didn't just receive these healing frequencies passively. They developed integration protocols that embedded cosmic wisdom into daily life rhythms. Farmers didn't just plant by moon phases. They synchronized entire agricultural cycles with specific star patterns, creating crops with enhanced nutritional density and natural pest resistance. Polynesian navigators didn't just use stars for direction. Before ocean voyages, they performed star bonding ceremonies that created psychic links with navigational constellations. During storms, when stars weren't visible, navigators could still sense directional guidance from stellar connections established during pre-voyage rituals. Medieval European monasteries secretly maintained star medicine practices disguised as contemplative prayer. Monks would lie in monastery gardens during specific constellation transits, receiving what they called stellar grace, direct downloads of divine wisdom that informed their healing work and spiritual counseling. These weren't superstitious practices, these were sophisticated consciousness technologies that treated the night sky as humanity's original pharmacy, library, and communication network rolled into one cosmic interface. Here's the most powerful part: you can activate these same healing frequencies tonight. The ancient star medicine protocols still work because stellar radiation patterns haven't changed. The cosmic pharmacy is still broadcasting healing frequencies every single night. Start with the foundational practice. Find the darkest location you can access. Lie flat on the earth or natural surface. No blanket, no barrier between your body and ground. Spread your arms wide, creating maximum surface area for stellar reception. Choose one bright star or constellation as your focal point. Native traditions recommend starting with the North Star. It's stable, powerful, and broadcasts what shamans call direction medicine for life guidance. Lock your gaze on this star and begin slow, deep breathing that matches your natural heartbeat. After 10 minutes, your nervous system will start synchronizing with cosmic rhythms. You might feel tingling, temperature changes, or subtle energy movements through your body. This is stellar radiation beginning to interact with your bioelectric field. Advanced practitioners add sound elements. Humming or toning while maintaining star focus creates resonance amplification that multiplies healing effects. Ancient traditions report that 21 minutes of star-focused toning can reset autonomic nervous system patterns that took years to develop. For specific healing applications, different stars broadcast different medicine frequencies. Celtic traditions use the Big Dipper for emotional healing, Orion for physical strength, and the Pleiades for mental clarity and intuitive development. The most profound practice involves what I call stellar storytelling, sharing personal experiences or challenges while gazing at specific constellations, then listening for guidance responses that arise during continued star focus. Ancient cultures built entire therapeutic systems around this practice. Communities would gather in circles under star-filled skies, sharing stories, challenges, and dreams while maintaining collective focus on teaching constellations. The stars became active participants in community healing and decision-making processes. Lessons for modern seekers. Last week, a neuroscientist at Harvard made a discovery that will change everything. Dr. Sarah Chen found that when people stargaze for just 7 minutes, their brain waves shift into the same frequency patterns found in deep meditation masters, theta waves at 4 to 8 hertz. But here's the kicker. This only happens under real starlight, not artificial light or screens. Your ancestors weren't just looking up for fun. They were literally rewiring their consciousness using cosmic radiation as a spiritual technology. You've been searching for enlightenment in all the wrong places. The answer isn't in expensive retreats or ancient books. It's been hanging over your head every single night, waiting for you to remember how to use it. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to activate the most powerful spiritual practice humanity has ever discovered. And it costs absolutely nothing. Here's what the spiritual industry doesn't want you to know. You don't need a guru. You don't need special crystals. You don't need to travel to sacred mountains. You need five things: darkness, patience, intention, one constellation, and the courage to sit still long enough for the cosmos to download directly into your consciousness. Let me walk you through the three steps that will transform your spiritual life forever. Step one sounds simple, but it's where most people fail. Create intentional stillness. Not meditation stillness, cosmic stillness. This means your phone goes inside, not just on silent. This means turning off every light you can see. This means sitting in darkness so complete that your pupils dilate fully, opening the gateway between your nervous system and stellar radiation. Here's why this matters. Your phone's screen emits blue light at exactly the frequency that blocks your brain's ability to process cosmic information. It's like trying to hear a whisper while someone's screaming in your ear. Every streetlight, every porch light, every car headlight creates electromagnetic interference that drowns out the subtle signals your DNA is designed to receive from starlight. When you eliminate these distractions, something magical happens. Your pineal gland, what ancient mystics called the third eye, begins producing DMT naturally. The same compound found in ayahuasca, except your body manufactures it for free when exposed to pure starlight. Indigenous shamans have known this for thousands of years. They called it sky medicine. Now, step two, choose one constellation and commit to it for a full week, not 7 different star patterns, one. This isn't about learning astronomy. This is about establishing a personal relationship with a specific cluster of cosmic intelligence. I recommend starting with the Big Dipper because it's visible year-round from most locations and has the strongest electromagnetic signature. But here's the secret. It doesn't matter which constellation you choose. What matters is consistency. You're creating a neural pathway between your consciousness and that specific star pattern. Sit with your chosen constellation for minimum 20 minutes each night. Don't try to see anything special. Don't force insights. Just be present with those particular points of light. What's happening at the quantum level is extraordinary. Stellar photons that traveled millions of years through space are entering your retina and triggering chemical reactions in your brain. You're literally absorbing ancient starlight and converting it into new neural pathways. By night 4 or 5, most people report the same phenomenon. The stars seem to get brighter, closer, almost like they're responding to your attention. This isn't imagination. You're developing what science calls enhanced visual processing under low light conditions. But what you're really doing is awakening dormant human abilities that artificial light has suppressed. Step 3 is where the real magic happens. Journal everything. Not just what you see, but what you feel, what you dream, what random thoughts arise, what emotions surface. Because here's what nobody tells you about star practice. The downloads don't happen while you're sitting outside. They happen in the hours and days afterward, when your subconscious processes the cosmic information you absorbed. People report prophetic dreams, sudden creative breakthroughs, solutions to problems that have plagued them for years, deep emotional healing, and what can only be described as direct knowing, information that appears in their minds without any logical source. Why does this work? Because modern science is finally catching up to what mystics always knew. Consciousness isn't produced by your brain. Your brain is a receiver, like a radio antenna, and starlight carries information, not just heat and light, but actual data encoded in electromagnetic frequencies. When you practice intentional stargazing, you're tuning your consciousness to receive cosmic transmissions. You're downloading directly from the source code of the universe. This is why every spiritual tradition developed around star worship. This is why ancient temples aligned with stellar positions. This is why indigenous peoples still perform star ceremonies. The Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, isn't poetic metaphor. It's literal instruction. The patterns you see in the sky reflect the patterns within your consciousness. Closing reflections. Right now, as you listen to these words, there are photons of light hitting your skin that left distant stars when your great great grandmother was just a child. Ancient light carrying messages across the cosmic ocean, finally arriving at this exact moment to meet you. But here's what most people don't realize: you're not just accidentally receiving this light, you're part of a conversation that's been going on for millennia. Here's something that will blow your mind. The constellation pattern that was directly overhead when you were born hasn't repeated itself for approximately 26,000 years. The exact stellar arrangement that witnessed your first breath is your personal cosmic fingerprint, unique in human history. Every night, something extraordinary happens that most people never notice. A massive mandala unfolds above your head. The Big Dipper rotates around Polaris like a cosmic clock, marking not just time, but the rhythm of spiritual awakening itself. The ancient Greeks called this the music of the spheres, mathematical ratios governing planetary orbits that create harmony in music, beauty in art, and coherence in consciousness. But here's the disturbing truth: we've created a world that actively prevents this connection. Light pollution doesn't just hide the stars, it severs our link to cosmic consciousness. When was the last time you saw the Milky Way with your naked eye? We've traded our birthright as cosmic beings for artificial daylight, losing access to the universe's most profound teachings. But don't get disappointed yet. What if I tell you there's a way to reclaim this lost connection? Here's what I want you to do tonight. Spend just 10 minutes under the open sky. Choose one star. Make it yours. Say hello to it like an old friend, because that star has been shining its light toward Earth for longer than human civilization has existed. Now ask it a question about something you're struggling with, something you need guidance on. Then sit in silence and let the answer come, not in words, but in knowing. This isn't imagination. This is remembering how to speak the universe's native language. Are you ready for the most mind-bending truth? Every photon that touches your retina tonight began its journey before you were born. The light from Andromeda started traveling to meet your eyes over 2 million years ago. You are literally seeing the past, receiving messages that have traveled unimaginable distances just to reach this moment. But here's the ultimate revelation: you are not separate from the universe looking up at it. You are the universe looking up at itself. The carbon in your body was forged in dying stars. The iron in your blood was created in supernovas. You're not on this planet. You are this planet, temporarily organized into consciousness. So tonight, when the cosmic classroom opens, Step outside and reclaim your birthright. Choose your star. Begin your conversation. Let the universe start teaching you again. What message do you receive when you open yourself to these cosmic teachers? Share your experience in the comments below, because what you discover might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. So for now, you have a star to meet. And trust me, it's been waiting for you far longer than you can imagine.